Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to the racing line. We are here again. It's Monday. It's that time again. As usual, we are here. We are on time. And it is round 11 of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup. There's only one round left after this. Can you believe it? We've made it this far. To me, that's absolute madness. This is more than I could have ever have thought that it was going to be so far. And I don't know where it's going to go, but here we are. Penultimate round, Volkswagen Jetta Cup, round 11, here at Laguna Seca. Actually, technically, where it all started. Just like Summit Point, the round before this. We have been here before for a media day. Although, it seems like a long time ago now. Corkscrew baby, says Cadared. What's up, my nerds, he says. In the Twitch chat. Don't forget to let me know where you're watching from, Twitch or YouTube. Get your emojis in there. We have only one round left. You may have seen it just as we started. They're in practice right now. There's 7 minutes of practice as usual. 50 minutes practice before the race. 8-minute qualifying. A sprint race followed by a feature race. The sprint race is 15 minutes. The feature race is 25 minutes. And they must fuel in the feature race, or they won't make it to the end. It's as simple as that. So there is a forced pit stop in that feature race, and it's reverse grid from the sprint race results. Top 12 reverse, so if you finish first in that sprint race, you will be starting in 12th in the feature. We've seen, we've seen many things over the season. People stealing sprint race wins in the last closing stages of races by thousandths of seconds. And then starting 12th in the feature race, and it costs them quite a lot of points. Actually, I'm not even sure what the best strategy is for things like this. Do you sacrifice a little bit of points in the sprint race and finish 6th on purpose so that you can start 6th? Who knows? Because it's double points for the feature race and really, really important. So let's have a breakdown of where we are in the championship. Here's what things look like right now. In the constructors' standings. And don't forget, we've now had 10 rounds, which means drop rounds are going to come into play. We've got 12 rounds in total. 3 of them are allowed to be dropped because we understand that people can't always turn up to every round. So to make it fairer, 3 drop rounds in total, and they have started being applied now that we've done 10 rounds. So 1 round has been deleted from everyone. And here's how it looks. Pulsar Esports, as we said, pretty much tied up the championship a few rounds ago with their drivers being regularly in the points. But look at second place. It is close between Win It or Bin It, Masters of Talk, ORD. Currently second, third and fourth, all in the 800 point zone. Win It or Bin It on top in second, Masters of Talk third, and ORD with 808 points in fourth. Meatball Lovers 605 points. Lurchus Gaming not too far behind them either. Just about 90 points behind. Not exactly, but Lurchus Gaming could do something about that. They've been getting some strong results. It's good to be back, says Ellen Brown with the party emoji. Good. Podium tonight, eh, Chris Smith? Come on, husband. Rachie Founder 1 says, people voting for Chris Smith. That's who they're rooting for today. All Sports Racing, 323 points. A disappointing season for All Sports Racing, really. Not in terms of their results. Morgan Burkhardt being caught in accidents more often than not. That are completely not his fault. So he's had a couple of disastrous races out there. Orlando Herrell, he has been, do you know what? Actually, he's been hovering around. And he does claim those points sometimes when he needs to. But what's really affected them is their third driver slot, which started off as one driver, got replaced by another driver. Neither driver was there. So All Sports Racing, only 2 drivers in that team. And as usual, JP Simshed's down at the bottom. But let's not forget, all season long has been one driver in the form of the Australian Ray Oliver. And that is the constructors' standing. 4 minutes to go of practice. That gives us enough time. Let's have a look then. This is what everyone wants to see. It's the Drivers' Championship. The Drivers' standings after the drop rounds have been taken into account. Jake Cranston still leads the way and currently has the highest dropped score of 33 points. All of the Pulsars cars have dropped rounds of 0. So at one point, all Pulsars cars, although they're leading the constructors, have had a round where they've scored 0 points, which is really interesting. But Jake Cranston has not. 33 points he has been dropped for his drop round. And there's a number of drivers out there that have actually lost a couple of points. but technically that's not how it works. They don't actually lose them, but they just don't count because they are their lowest scoring rounds. And to have a lowest scoring round of 33 for Jake Cranston is an impressive feat nonetheless, especially with this field and how close it is and how strong it is. We say it time and time again, and I wish, like, I don't wish anything, but like, it is not me just saying it. The strength of field, regardless of iRating number, is absolutely ridiculous. These drivers are on another level in this car, and it's really good to see them race, even though sometimes it gives me some late nights with the penalties and the stewarding afterwards. But that's what we're here for. It's the championship. Let's move on. Let's go down that order. Stephen King, second place, 474 points. You've got to say it's looking way in Jake Cranston's favour with only 2 rounds to go. What can be done? I am not sure. The real battle is for third place in the championship. John Bailiff for Win It or Bin It currently leads this train with 385 points. 6 points behind is Henry Morse, who shot up last week for Pulsar Esports with 379. Only 1 point behind him, though, is our youngest driver, Ryan Smith, for ORD, 378 points. Not far behind them with 343 is Jared Kaler. He missed last round, so that was his drop round of 0 points. Joshua Germany for Pulsar Esports. He started climbing back up again after a positive start. A bit of a lull in the midpoint of the season, and now he's started getting some good results again on these American tracks. It seems to be his favourite, I guess. 339 points. Only 2 points behind him after quite a disappointing round for Donny last time out. Donny Alpha Henriksen, 337 points, but he is not out of it. Or he might think he's out of it. He is not out of this yet. He can still climb that order. Jeremy Agard, P9, Masters of Talk, 312 points. Christopher Smith, 293 points. Our hotel racer, Christopher Hotel Smith, who I think this is his last week in the hotel, so he should be back at home with all of his gear soon, I'm sure. Ray Oliver, JP Simsheds, 261 points. Is 11th in the standings. Cracking effort from him. 2 points behind that. Andy Fox in 12th. Kieran Dempsey, 13th. Morgan Burkhardt, 14th. Ika LeQuain, 15th. He's had a strong couple of races with 250 points. Only 2 points behind Morgan. Jesus Amundere is behind Martin Wallace in 16th and 17th. And Peter Jones has climbed up into the top 18 there at the bottom end of the field with 137 points. Next page over. Dan Thornton, equal on points with Peter Jones, 137 points. Charles Rainford, who has been missing because of work. He's the All Sports Racing Car, 132 points, 20th place. Sebastian Hallmichael was about to overtake him today if he can get some points. 131 in Sebastian Hallmichael's pocket. He only needs a couple of points to get past. Jan Weiswanger, 97. Christian Ribeiro, 89 points in 23rd. Orlando Harrell, 71 points in 24th. And then a couple of people down the bottom end who are no longer with us. That is Oliver Teglus, Tyne van den Wittenbauer. Thomas Berlin is still with us, but I don't think he's racing today. Esben Kim-Jan, Jack Lewin, and Sam Tully also on the list of drivers that have gone. That is it. We are fully caught up in the championship standings, and perfect timing if I don't say so myself. 50 minutes has just ticked over as we look at the scenic cams of the WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, and qualifying is about to begin. 8 minutes of qualifying, and it's, well, I can't see any drivers out yet. Are they all going to be leaving? Yes, here they all are. Look, leaving the pit lane. 8 minutes to set their lap. All the Lurchus gaming cars. Look at them coming out. Owen sent us to check out your channel, said Kira. Good to see you, Kira. Thank you for joining. Millie says, hey, thanks for joining in the chat. This is all on YouTube comments. So people are watching on YouTube. People are watching on Twitch as well. It is good to see everybody. I hope you are all doing well. And I genuinely mean that. So, qualifying is underway. 7 minutes to go. Who is going to be the fastest and put it on pole position for this race? I genuinely have no idea. In practice, Stephen King and Henry Morse were looking strong and extremely close. I believe, well, it did look like, let's be honest, it looked like they were slipstreaming each other, which they've done pretty much all season. Andy Beers, looking forward to another great race. Indeed, yeah, well, it's been close all season. I'm looking forward to it as well, although this track has had its downside, shall we say. It can cause some issues, especially as we watch Stephen King go into the corkscrew corner. This is where I'm expecting some accidents to happen. The braking zone there, extremely hard and relatively blind for as you go down the hill, quite a steep hill. I'll tell you what, whilst we're here, with Stephen King. Let's have a look at the track map just to see where everyone is. Henry Morse has got a little train behind him there on the top right of the circuit. It looks like Stephen King's actually behind Jake, who's pitted. So Stephen is going to be the first to set a lap, I believe. I'll tell you what, let's go on board with him and see what it looks like. This is on board with Stephen. So he's coming down now towards turn 1. He's going to get hard on the brakes at that white line. Goes down the gears, should be in 3rd gear. Gets a nice exit there, up into 4th on the exit. Over to the left-hand side, gets it chucked in, smooth on the power through here. It's easy to unsettle the car here through that right-hander, and then you want a small lift through this right-hander. You want to carry as much speed as you can in 5th gear. It looks nicely done. You don't want to run too wide. He looks fairly safe, although you can hear he dipped 2 wheels on the gravel there as he approaches the next sector. Now this is a deceivingly fast uphill left-hander. Gets it chucked in 4th gear, gets back on the power as soon as he can, and uses the little bit of extra curb on the exit there. Get after it, Bob. Good luck, says Sway London. Some more Martin Wallace fans out there. Through the kink, this is a tricky corner, the money corner, and it looks fairly decent through there as we see some people starting to set the first times as they cross the line. It looks like Henry Morse was the leader of the first train out the pits, but here's the corkscrew I was talking about. Look how steep this hill is. He gets it turned into the apex. You can't see where you're going. You just have to trust that the track is there, and then you're still going downhill all the way through this left-hander in 5th gear, trying not to put too much power on as you don't want to understeer wide. Gets over to the left, gets back over to the right-hand side, carry as much speed as you can through that second to last corner. 1 corner to go now. Hard on the brakes, it's a 90-degree left, gets it turned in, and you can use a little bit extra track these days on iRacing than expected, but he actually doesn't need to. He doesn't do it. He's tried pulling away from Ryan Smith behind. What can he do? Across the line, what has he done? Stephen King, and it puts him pole with a 1:38.7 with no slipstream. That is an impressive time. 1/10 behind him is Jeremy Agard, who is also in this train, and Ryan Smith, actually, the slowest of that 3. So these 3 all together, there's Ryan Smith behind, and Jeremy Agard was following Ryan, who actually outqualifies Ryan at the moment in P2. Andy Fox, though, currently in P4. It looks like Stephen's pulled over. He's happy with that lap. I wonder what the rest are doing. Let's take a look. I don't want to. I'll tell you what we should look at. I've just noticed they're still together. It's the Lurchus Gaming Cars. Here they are, the Spanish crew. Well, I don't know if I can say that. Is that offensive to the Spanish crew? They've got a lot of fans, the Lurchus Gaming Cars, but they're not all Spanish. I believe Christian Ribeiro is actually Brazilian. So there's that. And here they are. So Iku is coming around that uphill left-hander. All 3 of them in formation. We've seen this quite regularly, actually, with these 3. The same car, same team. And it's good to see them all together in qualifying. Teamwork can make the dream work. Although, if my memory serves me correctly, all those 11 weeks ago, round 1, I'm sure all 3 of them came out bumper to bumper. And it looked really nice when they're all in the same car, and then one of them spun 2 corners later on an outlap. I'm not sure which one. I wouldn't like to pass the blame. It genuinely could have been any of them. All of the memories are flooding back to me. All 10 rounds, of course, are still available on the channel if you want to go back and watch and see how the season unfolded, or maybe you're interested in joining a potential season 2. No confirmed plans yet, but of course there are talks about it because of how much people have enjoyed this season, which I am grateful for. It does mean a lot. Times are looking close. I'll tell you what I didn't spot. Ryan Smith, he has beaten Stephen's lap time. He's gone straight up to pole. And Jake Cranston, there he goes, the championship leader, also gets up to pole, a 10.5 ahead of Ryan and Stephen. Jeremy Agard there in 4th. That is an impressive time. 1:38.6. Where is... Keep seeing that comment from Sway London. Where is Martin Wallace? He's currently down in 16th place. 1.9 seconds down. Let's go and have a look at what he's doing. He doesn't normally like it when we're watching him in qualifying. Puts a bit of pressure on him. And last time we kept cutting to him, he was in the grass. Tossing the salad, we called that throughout this season. You guys named that one, as well as the spaghetti of Jettas. Henry Morse is still leading that train, and he's just gone fastest. 400ths fastest. But he's been in the lead of this train the whole time, so Henry has got some strong pace. Whenever we've spoken about Henry, we've mentioned how there's no in-between with Henry. He either turns up and does really well, double podiums, fights hard, or there was no point in him turning up because he's got 0 points and he's out the race and he's crashed into people. That's the type of driver that Henry Morse is. I'm not saying he's dangerous. I'm just saying it has happened this season. We have seen him go from one of the best drivers and highest scoring drivers of a round to 0 points and about 3 penalties in a race meeting. But now look at him. No slipstream. On pole with a 138.5. Jake Cranston's back in the pits, 400ths behind. Stephen King is now back up into third, less than a tenth behind. Look how close this is. Do you understand the gap of 1/10 of a second? It's relatively nothing. We are talking inches of bumper as they cross the line. And Jake, Stephen and Henry, regularly up there, are separated by that gap. Ryan Smith, he's going to want to improve on that time if he can, although we are about to run out of time. There's only 30 seconds left of qualifying, so it's looking like this might be where we're at, people. This is probably how qualifying's going to end. I can't see a time for Chris or Jared Kaler, so they must have had an absolute nightmare for some reason. I don't know if Chris is sorting out some sort of hotel Wi-Fi issue, but no lap time so far for Chris. He's going on an out lap. There's only 10 seconds left. Jared Kaler looks like he wants to start last today. Dan Thornton, oh, there goes Chris with an 8-second, he's 8 seconds off the pace. I don't know if it's going to let him finish the lap, but don't think it normally does. Nope, it has ended the session. 8 minutes are up, and we are going through to the grid. H. Brandon says, lol. I don't know if that was when I was talking about Henry. Okay, we need to have a look at the grid. Where are they all? Here they are. This is a good shot of the starting place. So, the official grid then. After qualifying, Henry Morse is going to be your pole sitter for today. Another pole position for him. Jake Cranston right behind and Stephen King right behind him. Ryan Smith in 4th. John Bailiff 5th. Jeremy Agard 6th. Kieran Dempsey in 7th. And Morgan Burkhardt in 8th. Donnie Henriksen in 9th. Ray Oliver in P10. 11th and 12th is Andy Fox and Joshua Germany. We then have Jesus Amundre, he's up in 13th. Martin Wallace is in 14th in the end, so he did improve. Jan Weiswanger's up there in 15th, and Peter Jones in 16th, with Ika Lequay and Christian Ribeiro, the 2 Lurchers cars, rounding off row 9. Sebastian Holmichael and Dan Thornton, row 10. Chris Smith and Jared Kaler at the back on row 11. And that is our official grid. Where is Henry Morse? He's making us all wait before he joins the grid. There should be another Pulsars car on the other side of the track in front of Stephen. Still waiting for a few drivers, actually. John Bailiff we're waiting for. Donnie Alpha Henriksen. There's John. Donnie will show up shortly, as I'm sure Henry will as well. They've got 2 minutes to do this. If they don't show up, then they've missed their opportunity. But we haven't seen that yet this season. We have seen jump starts. They've been impressive. Donnie actually was one of those drivers that did the jump start. But here we are on the grid, waiting for them. I don't want that view. There we go. Henry's there now. Here he is. Henry Morse. It's time. The lights are on. Should see some green lights appear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And the race is underway. Oh, that looked like a potential jump start for Stephen King there, if my eyes doth deceive me. But it was a good start if it wasn't. And Henry Morse actually got quite a bit of wheel spin off the line there. It looks like Stephen's right up the inside of Jake Cranston. He's trying to get the move done early. Jake qualified P2. Stephen's on his inside. He's now going to be on the outside of Henry Morse. Oh, is Henry going to help him? They have battled this season. I don't think Henry is inclined to help him. Oh, look at this. He's boxed in. It's Jake Cranston. Full defend. Is he going to run Stephen off? He does. But he lets him back on the track. Now they're going through the fast right-hander. Are they going to touch? They've come together before. Ryan Smith licking his lips and just holding and waiting to pick up these positions if they do crash again. That was a late move from Jake to defend to the inside. He can't get over. Look at that move from Stephen King up the inside of the left-hander. Jake loses that position. Stephen goes up to second. Jake stays in third. Ryan Smith might have a run, though. Is he on the inside for the kink, Ryan? No, he backs out of it, but he's got John Bailiff and Jeremy Agar going side by side through the kink. And look at John go right off the track there in sort of avoidance, really. I'm surprised he tried holding it round the outside of the kink. They're all going to come flying down into the corkscrew. Can we get a view of any crashes? This is where I said is the danger zone. It looked, at the back there, Jared Kaler's broken late into Jan Weiswanger, but fairly reserved as they all come down the corkscrew area. Let's go back to this cam as they come flying down the hill. Here they are. Jan Weiswanger did survive, so So it wasn't too much of an issue from Jared Kaler, but remember, he started last as Jan Weiswanger goes wide there onto the dirt. And Peter Jones with an amazing switchback there up into P20. Jan Weiswanger falling down the auto. He's now got Dan Thornton for company as they come round the final corner. Dan's going to go around the outside. Nice and easily done. You can use the track on the exit, and away they go. Who's going to get the slipstream from Peter Jones? Who knows? It's not looking that close up ahead. I'll tell you who is looking to pass someone. Andy Fox, Martin Wallace are together, and Morgan Burkhardt is right ahead of them. Andy Fox is on the inside of Martin. It looks like that move is done. I can't remember if he's defending from Martin, actually. I don't think he is. Maybe he is. But Ika Lequay trying to get involved as well. All over the back of Martin Wallace. Jared Kaler's going to be one to watch. He started last. I'm assuming it's on purpose. He's one of our American drivers. Maybe he really enjoys Laguna Seca and just wants to see how high he can get up the order after starting from the back. He is currently in 16th, so he's gained a few places. I can tell you exactly. He's gained 6 places. Donny Alpha Henriksen has also gained 3 up ahead, up into P6. He started in 9th place. So that was John Bailiff obviously going off earlier. That was one position, but he has made moves on Kieran and Ray as well as he goes wide. Look at him dipping a wheel on the gravel there as he goes through the fast kink. Still relatively safe. I wonder if there's any issues with these cars. I haven't seen much contact in terms of people getting meatballs. I'll tell you who we've seen battle before is these two, Joshua Germany and Jesus Amundere, are going side by side through the corkscrew as Jesus tries to get a cutback. Do you know what? I want to go on board with Jesus. Let's see if he can get this move done. He's all over the back of Joshua Germany. Who's going to come out on top in this battle? I do not know. These two are strong defenders when they want to be. As Ray goes wide there. I wonder if that was a punt from Ray, from someone there where Ray goes off. And now Joshua Germany is actually going to have a run. Ray Oliver up ahead. Let's go and have a look at that. Ray does defend. And that's the back of him. You just saw Joshua Germany. He's gone to the outside. You can't see him now. This is the back of Ray Oliver's car. Is Joshua Germany going to reappear, or has he got the move done? Has he gone around the outside of turn 1? No, there he is. You can see the Pulsar's car, and Ray slots back in front of Joshua Germany for P9. And Josh is going to want that position. Look how close they get into the braking zone. He's all over the back of him. Although, I'm sure someone was close behind Josh who is no longer there. It was Morgan. It was Jesus. So Jesus has had an issue somewhere as well. Let's have a replay of Ray Oliver going off at the final corner. I want to see what happened. Was there a touch here that helped Ray? No, he outbroke himself by the looks of it. Nearly hit Kieran, actually. So he's done well to avoid Kieran Dempsey there. Wafa Omran says hello. Hello. Thank you for joining the stream and enjoy the racing. This is still a replay. Morgan Burkhardt under pressure from Jesus there. In the background, we saw Jesus lose a position. So is this just Morgan making a move on him round the outside? This will be a good move if he can make it stick. We saw Josh try it on Ray. It didn't quite work. Morgan, though, look at the run he had. If he can make that stick, that's a hell of a move. He's still there on the outside. There was a bit of a touch behind with Jared and Martin Wallace. Martin's still going to have the inside. We should have seen this live. This is still a replay as Chris Smith's gone off. Jared's around the outside of Martin Wallace. It's 2x2 down here in the bottom half of the field so far. It's still relatively close, and they are all fighting hard for these positions. Let's go back live and see what's actually going on in the race right this second. Joshua Germany under pressure from Morgan Burkhardt. Here he is, and this is what it looks like from Morgan's bumper. He's all over the back of him. We want to see on board Morgan. What's he going to do? Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? Joshua Germany's going to have to defend the inside, which he does. Morgan tries to commit to the outside again. Can he hold it? Joshua Germany's broken late. He's not going to have the run on him this time. Jesus is still there in this battle, as is Andy Fox, who is watching the 3 up ahead. Morgan goes to the inside of turn 2, and look at that. Sends it up the inside as Morgan Burkhardt for P10. What a move, but Josh is still there around the outside. What's he doing? He's going to have to try and slot in, and he does. But Jesus is now all over the back of him and is now going to have a look around the outside of the next left-hander as they're coming side by side. Now Jesus switches back to the inside. Can he brake later than Joshua Germany? No, he cannot. He stays behind him for P12 at the moment. Andy Fox right behind him. These guys, remember, are fighting for reverse grid pole as Andy's going to have a look up the inside of the kink. You don't want to do that, surely. Can it? No, he's backed out of it. Good. Smart decision from Andy Fox there. That could have ended extremely badly. This is from Andy's point of view. He's got the battle going on ahead of him. The gap at the front is getting smaller. Jake Cranston now 4 tenths behind Steven, so he's trying to close that gap, but they are pulling away from Ryan Smith and Jeremy Agard. Donny Alpha Henriksen chasing down Agard Kieran Dempsey and Bailiff also on the same bit of track. But these four are fighting for the reverse grid pole position. That is what they are fighting for. Who wants to start the feature race in first place? These guys do. Half points, remember, for the sprints. Double points for the feature. So having that first place start. Look how close Andy gets to the back of Jesus there as they come around the final corner. Let's see the slipstream. Is this slipstream going to pull Andy along enough to get him up the inside or round the outside of Jesus? It doesn't look like it as he goes over to the right. Can he get the switch back? No, he's going to think about it. No. Smart driving. He's playing it safe, is Andy Fox. He doesn't want to get involved in any incidents. But I'll tell you who will be on him at some point is Jared Kaler, who is now ahead of this train, and he's going to be working his way forward as he has been all race. 8 places up is Jared from the start. Everyone else still pretty much where they were, apart from Donny, who we said earlier gained 3 places, and Christopher Smith, who started down the bottom end, is up 4 places. Here he is currently chasing down Martin Wallace up ahead. Only 3 temps. Really close round here. We're halfway through the sprint race already. Let's go. Another Monday, says Figuelthio on Twitch. Thank you for joining. Lurchus Gaming. Currently, your man Jesus Amundere is on the reverse grid pole. Ika Lequay only 3 places behind in 15th. Christian Ribeiro down in 21st. Looking like he's trying to get past Dan Thornton into the kink. He's not going to think about that, surely. Let's watch this as they go down to the corkscrew, though. This is a dangerous corner. He's trying to go up the inside, is Christian Ribeiro on Dan Thornton. Dan covers it off. Watch your braking zone, guys. We don't want to see a crash. It looks like they're going to get through fairly safely. That is good. Nice and safe driving. Oh, Dan, though, flirting with getting an off-track or a slowdown there. Perfect place, says Figuelthio for Jesus Amundere. Yes, it is. Did you see that? I don't know if it will... No, it's not going to come up about Dan there. I just want to see... I want to see if I can see that again. Doesn't look like I can. Oh, so Dan actually passed Christian around here. Christian goes wide onto the dirt, and then Dan comes flying through. So that's why Christian was looking like he wanted to get it back. Dan goes to the inside of the uphill turn, and then through, and that's why they were side by side going up towards the kink. So it wasn't Christian trying to make a move. It was Dan actually getting past him for P20. And there are... Oh, do you know what? Completely forgot what I was going to say. But that happens. It's happened before. It's happened again. And then we saw them go. I wonder, is it going to show? Can I slow this down? What camera angle is it going to do as they go into the corkscrew? Watch Dan's wheels as he comes down here. When I say he's flirting with getting a slowdown, look, all 4 wheels across the white line. But relatively safe. We didn't see him do a slowdown. So it looks like he got away with that one. But that is the limits that these guys are pushing right now. Trying to get every little bit of time as we cut to the leader. This is Henry Morse, Stephen King and Jake Cranston. This is how close it looks on track. So Henry, comfortable lead really. He's been in this position before. We call him the sprint race ninja. It's been his nickname for a while, mainly because he steals sprint race wins in the last lap by thousandths of a second. This time, he doesn't need to be. He put it on pole. He's still there. He's not even having to defend. Stephen King is right behind. He's racing Jake Cranston. That's what's helping Henry here, is these two are going to be battling, and this looks closer than it's ever been. Jake Cranston all over the back of Stephen. Let's see how they race today. It's been fairly feisty between these two, the championship leaders of the first Volkswagen Jetta Cup. Jake's going to have a look around the outside. It's really hard to get a move done there. I'm surprised Morgan did it, but no, look at that. Stephen slots back in front. Jake Cranston cannot get out the outside there of turn 1 and 2. They come into the right-hander, and it's still all good. He's going to want this position, though. These two, we often see them fight, but we haven't always seen it end well. Summit Point, it was Stephen's turn to end up in the wall. Okayama, it was Jake's turn to be spun, although he did still finish 6th, whereas Stephen finished last as a result of his spin. And it actually helped Jake to win the feature because he started in a higher grid position. Not saying he couldn't have done it without that, though, of course. We all know that Jake Cranston's got pace, and he is showing it once again. 2 temps behind Stephen, all over his bumper. These guys need to really, they could do what Henry has done to them this season and steal a win in the last closing stages. We've only got 4 minutes left of the sprint. Oh, speaking of that, that was Henry getting it all out of shape. That is a slowdown. He's gone to the left-hand side, but he has moved clearly out the way. That's fine. The briefing did say to the right-hand side, but he has done the right thing there. That was a hell of a slowdown, and that's how people can take the lead, just like that. What a change. We said that people were flirting with the limits. That is what happens. Ryan Smith now right behind Henry. What Henry needs to be careful of here is he can't really slow down again or hinder Ryan unless if he's still got that time penalty. He has broken the briefing rule by doing it somewhere else. Where he did it, if he doesn't slow down again, which it doesn't look like he's going to, I think that's fine because he did move straight out of the way. Jake having another look round the outside of Stephen. That's not going to work. I think he's just trying to intimidate Stephen into going deep so that he can slot up the inside. That's what I would try and do. This track looks fun in the Jettas, says Sway London. It is a decent track in the Jettas. In fact, I think most of the not all of them, but most of the circuits we've been to this season have been extremely fun in these little diesel touring cars. Although they're quite sensitive, these cars, to the old door banging, the little rubbing that they do as they go side by side in battles. John Bailiff's under pressure from Kieran Dempsey back there. Is that going to be a move up the inside? No, Kieran's actually playing it sensible. He's staying behind him. The Irish driver in the beautiful matte black and chrome Irish flag livery. Look up ahead. Look how close these guys are. Henry is trying to get this position back. He's clearly got the pace on these boys. The corkscrew guys, be careful, please. Oh, Jake's going to try and send it up the inside. Surely not. Ryan is right on the back of this train now as well. Whoever makes the first mistake is going to lose this. Henry's made the first mistake. Ryan went off track somewhere as well. Let's have a look if we can quickly see that. I don't think a move's going to be done into the final corner. I could be wrong. Where did Ryan go off? Through the fast right-hander. We saw that before with Christian, but he doesn't lose much time. That's fine. Let's go back live. I want to see this fight. What is going to happen? They're coming onto the main straight now. 13 minutes in, 2 minutes left. I don't think this is going to be the last lap, to be honest. I think there'll be one more lap after this. I can't see a white flag being waved. Jake Cranston right behind Stephen King. This is what it looks like from on board Jake. He's going to have to send it there if he wants to make the move. He doesn't. He thinks better of it. He's just going to follow Stephen through this section into turn one. And look how close they are. This is the lead fight for the sprint race. Effectively fighting over the grid position in the feature, though. Stephen currently starting in 12th, with Jake currently starting in 11th, with Henry right behind him starting in 10th. Who's on reverse grid pole at the moment? Andy Fox is on reverse grid pole at the moment, down in 12th place. He's got Joshua Germany for company. Jared Kaler, though, as I said, was chasing him down. He's past Jesus Mundere now, who's down in 14th place. So Jesus has dropped down the order a couple places, which has cost him reverse grid pole. Let's have a quick look, actually. I think this might be that moment. Oh, Jared, just looking up the inside of the kink. It's put Jesus right off the track. If there was contact there, that is a potential penalty because he's forced him off the track there or risked a crash. But that is one of the positions lost for Jesus as they come down the corkscrew. Not all bad. Back to the lead battle. This is Jake Cranston, still on the back of Stephen King with 14 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. I think there might be another lap, you know. I have been waiting for this race in my mum's basement for the past 30 years, says Bentis22. I'm going to take that as a compliment, although I don't think you're that old, to be honest, Bentis22. This is that the checkered flag up ahead, or is it the white flag? It's the white flag, which means this is the last lap. They literally crossed the line on the 15-minute mark. Oh, and Jake has a look up the inside. It's a late break from Jake Cranston. Are they going to touch? Stephen tries to get it turned in, and he does get it turned in and holds the lead of the sprint race. That was his opportunity. Is he going to have another go into the corkscrew? We saw him have a look. Diesel fume, says Alexander Vanderwood. Yes, indeed. I cannot believe he tried that. That was a hell of an attempt from Jake Cranston, and ever the opportunist. Trying to gain that lead battle. I can't take my eyes off of this fight. There's stuff happening elsewhere. I believe Christian Ribeiro has crashed somewhere and has entered the pit lane as a result. He's now out of this race on the last lap, which is a shame because he was doing well. But he is now out of this race. Stephen King under pressure from Jake Cranston. Here they come towards the kink. There's only really one or two more overtaking opportunities. The next one for Jake Cranston is into the corkscrew as Henry goes sliding wide into the dirt once again. And Ryan is all over the shot back there. Is he going to get it back on? Yes, he is. Well held from Ryan, so no move into the corkscrew this time from Jake Cranston. Is he going to have a look into the downhill left-hander? Some people have tried this on me before. Stephen will probably just shut that door, as he is entitled to do. Coming into the right-hander now, and Jake is looking ever closer. Surely not on the brakes there. No, not this time round. Now towards the final corner, the final overtaking opportunity for Jake Cranston. He's going to have a look down the inside. No, he can't get it broke late enough. Stephen King comes around the final corner. You've got to say this might be it, although Jake gets a good exit, as does Henry. Stephen moves over to the left-hand side. He's going to cross the line. This is the final lap, and Stephen King takes your sprint race win with Jake Cranston behind and Henry Morse behind him, and Ryan Smith is going to come home in 4th place. Donny Alpha Henriksen 5th, Jeremy Agard 6th, right behind. That was close between these two. Wow, Donny and Jeremy, that was close between them indeed. God, don't know where else to look. Nice defense there. Wow, H. Brandon 024 says. That was, you've got to say, that was fair driving from both of those championship leaders there. We've seen them, and it's such a shame to see drivers of their caliber come together in races. And understandably, from either party, whoever loses out, there's going to be anger and disappointment when they're fighting so closely, so evenly matched. But you've got to say, they gave each other a bit more respect today, which is good to see. And they didn't result in a crash, although it was a hell of a lunge from Jake Cranston into turn 1. And Stephen just managing to stay ahead. Henry Morse, I said it would happen. The Sprint Race Ninja has been mugged, although it wasn't on the final lap this time. He did get mugged of his own accord by cutting the corkscrew. Got to slow down, and off he went. Now, it is the 9-minute break time. It's a weird number. It's because they got a minute to get to the grid as well. So technically it's 10 minutes. If you need a drink, if you need to go to the toilet, now is your chance. If you don't want to miss the action. Wafa Omran says, hat the... I can't say that word. Not on stream, sir. But the... I don't know what he's saying. Is it just because how close the race was? Who knows? I need a bit more information about what you're talking about. JJ, can you grab a beer for me, says Bentis22. No. I, unfortunately, cannot leave. I say unfortunately. I don't want to leave. I'm going to stay here with the rest of you guys. All 50 of you watching across YouTube and Twitch. And, of course, as usual, ever grateful for your support out here. Quick stat check. Stephen King wins that race. That puts him on 4 wins this season. Henry Morse is currently on 5. Jake Cranston currently on 7. So those are your big winners throughout the season. We do need to do another quick shout out actually to Martin Wallace, who got his first pole position last time out. And I think he also got a fastest lap at some point. That was a little while ago now. He did get a fastest lap, but he also got a first podium, did Martin Wallace. So another shout out to him. He deserves it. It's interview time. Let's get the results up. Let's have a quick look at the old results. And then we'll have a chat with some of the drivers. Stephen King takes the win by 3 tenths. Jake Cranston 2nd. Henry Morse 3rd. Ryan Smith 4th. Donny Alpha Henriksen in 5th. Jeremy Agard finishes 6th. John Bailiff 7th. Kieran Dempsey 8th. Ray Oliver 9th. Morgan Burkhardt 10th. Joshua Germany in 11th. And your sprint race pole position is going to be Andy Fox for Win It or Bin It this time round. He's going to be starting on the front row. Jared Kaler 13th, nearly made it. Jesus Amundere 14th. Martin Wallace came home in 15th. Peter Jones 16th. Sebastian Hall-Michael 17th. And Nicola Quay in 18th place. And then you want to kind of... Wait, why is that not changing over? Come on, show me the rest. Dan Thornton, 19th place. And Jan Weiswanger, 20th, taking the final point of the day. Chris Smith down in 21st. With 22nd, Christian Ribeiro after his late race crash. Well... That's the result. Let's have a chat. Who shall we have a chat with? Let's have a look. I would like to talk to... I'll tell you who we're going to speak to, actually. I don't want to put pressure on him, but we haven't spoken to him often throughout the season. Andy Fox, welcome to the commentary booth. Sorry to interrupt your conversation with your team. But it is a 12th place finish for you in the sprint race, and we all know what that means. You have got the coveted reverse grid pole position. Happy?
Very happy, considering how practice went when I nearly lost my thumb and my finger. But a pit lane incident, should we say?
Yeah, that's right. There was a bit of a crash in the pit lane. You nearly lost your thumb. But so started down the order, got to 12th in the end. And what do you reckon you can do pace wise? You're going to be starting first. What do you reckon you can expect from this next race?
I don't know. I'm always hopeful for a podium.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how we go from there. I think hopefully if I can get a clean start, I reckon Josh might back people up a little bit. So I'm hoping that he does and I can get away with a bit of luck.
That's right. We've seen it before. Joshua Germany with his stern defence. Well, sometimes he leaves the door open, sometimes he doesn't. He's one of them, isn't he? But then you got a couple of feisty guys around you still. You got Morgan Burkhardt starting directly behind you. Ray Oliver's behind Josh. Kieran's there as well. John not far behind. So all to play for. How hard are you going to race him, Andy? That's the real question.
I'll race them all hard apart from John, obviously, being my teammate and up there for the champion points. So.
Well, that's fair enough. Well done on getting to 12th. I'm going to try and pull someone else in. I'll put you back. Hang on a second. Thanks for talking to us, Andy. We'll speak to you soon.
No problem. Thank you, Jack. Cheers.
That was Andy Fox there, who we just spoke to. He finished in 12th. We should speak to... I'll tell you who I want to speak to, actually. We've spoken to him a few times this season. Oh, no, never mind. Can't see him in there. I was going to speak to Jake Cranston quickly about his race. I wanted to hear his point of view about that battle, because there was a hell of a move on the inside of Turn 1. Let's see how Stephen King feels about his race. It's your sprint race winner. He's got another win under his belt. His 4th win this season. Stephen King, 3 tenths the gap in the end. Tell us about those last closing laps, please.
Oh, it was great fun. I mean, I was shaking a little bit. I actually never felt so nervous while leading the race because it was so unexpected. The mistake that Henry made going to the corkscrew and then all of a sudden in the lead. It was just so unexpected. Usually, if I get pole and I'm in the lead, then I can calm down a bit. But no, that was stressful. That was. I'm well chuffed that I've come out on top there.
Yeah, so again, we actually saw it happen live. So Henry made the mistake and had to let everyone through. And he done well to hold 3rd because Ryan wasn't far behind as well. But then you got Jake Cranston closing you down, and he was having a look here and there. But you actually crossed the line on 15 minutes dead on, so it extended by another lap.
I thought so. I was really perplexed as to how long that race was. We nearly ran out of fuel. We were on the absolute wire there.
Yeah. Well,
it was a good job it ended.
You were all going fast enough to extend the race by a lap there. 15-minute mark exactly the last lap. And then in the end, yes, ended up being a 16-minute race. And he made a hell of a move. It looked like it was really late, and you gave him the space into turn 1. What are your thoughts when you look in your mirror and you see that orange car flashing up your inside? You managed to get back in, and that's difficult to do around that corner if you're on the outside line. And it just looked like he might have had the run.
Yeah, I mean, when Jake goes down your inside, I mean, he's one of the few drivers. Although we came together last week, he's one of the few drivers that you can trust that he's always going to get it stopped. So that really helps when you're battling him. It works against him because I can predict him in that sense. Going around the outside at turn 1 though is just that will never work, especially when the tyres are so old. It'll work on lap 1, lap 2, lap 3 when we've got fresher tyres. But if you position the car right round Laguna Seca, it's so frustrating for the car behind because it is surprisingly very difficult to overtake. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations on your 4th win. You're going to be starting in 12th place now. What do you reckon you can do? You got Jake next to you again. Henry is also still there. Team play?
Team play, putting on a show. Hopefully us three can, because it seems to be that we've got a pace advantage over the rest of the field, the 3 of us. So hopefully we can put on a show, Dyson for the field, and have a 3-way battle for the lead in the closing stages. That's what we're aiming for.
We'll see what happens. Wish you the best of luck in the future. Speak to you soon.
Take care, Jack.
Stephen King there, your sprint race winner. There's only 1 minute left of the break, to be honest, and I don't want to pull anyone in for another interview when they are about to go to the race. So, let's have one more look at the results for anyone that missed it. This is what it looks like, the top 18. We can turn that off now. No longer in the interview. And we're not speaking to Stephen. So that's what it looks like. Sprint race win. 12th place, Andy Fox. We spoke to him. He's looking to try and do his best in the feature. He's hoping that Joshua Germany is going to hold up the rest of the field and defend P2 for his life so that Andy can drive off. Do I know Joshua Germany well enough to know if that's going to happen or not? I mean, I think he's going to try. Laguna Seca, Seca means dry, like the tank of Jesus' car. Good joke. That's a referencing Jesus' fuel problems throughout the season. Doesn't fill it up enough normally. I lost what I was saying. Joshua Germany, he will try and get that first place from Andy, 100%. But if Andy can pull away, then yeah, Andy's right. Josh will then give up on the lead and defend second for all he's worth. Let's have a look at the grid. It is time. Andy Fox on pole. Josh Germany second. Morgan Burkhardt and Ray Oliver on the second row. Kieran Dempsey and John Bailiff on the third row. Jeremy Agard and Donny Alpha Henriksen on the fourth row. Ryan Smith, Henry Morse on the fifth row. And Jake Cranston and Stephen King on the sixth row. For the rest of the grid, it's as they finished. Jared Kaler 13th, Jesus Amundre 14th, Martin Wallace 15th, Peter Jones 16th, Sebastian Holmichael 17th, Vika Lequay, Dan Thornton, Jan Weiswanger and Christopher Smith and Christian Ribeiro rounding off your field. And it is time for the race to start. We are on board with Andy Fox. We're looking at his car right there. 5 lights are on and away they go. The 25-minute sprint has begun, and what a start from Andy Fox. He's not going to be under pressure into turn one. Surely after a start like that, there wasn't much wheel spin at all for him as they head down, all of them flying down towards turn one now. And look at this for a view. We can see a fairly lot of drivers. Is there going to be any sort of contacts? They come into turn one. Do you know what? Fair play, boys. Look how clean that was. There's a little free-wide battle back there. That is Stephen King and Donny Alpha Henriksen. Jake Cranston's looking around the outside of Henry Morse there in the other Pulsar's car, and that is Jeremy Agard, the other Masters of Torque car. I wonder if he's going to help his teammate here as Jake tries to hold it round the outside of Henry. We've had a crash at the back. That's Jan Weiswanger. John Bailiff's gone wide, as has Donny Alpha Henriksen. Stephen King trying to go around the outside of Jake Cranston. Can Henry get it defended into the left-hander? No, Stephen goes clean around the outside. Can he keep it on track? They're going to go side by side into the kink. That is not going to be good to watch. Please, boys, don't crash after such a clean race. Stephen's going to try it. No. Slots in behind, slots in between Jake Cranston, and Donny Alpha Henriksen's still there. He's now going to have the inside for the corkscrews. There's a bit of contact there up ahead. I don't want to see any big crashes into the corkscrew, boys. Please keep it clean. Donny Alpha Henriksen on the inside. Oh, there's been a big touch. Oh, no. Crashes around. That's Andy Fox, Jeremy Agard, John Bailiff. Big names involved in that crash. Jared Kaler's gone round. He moves over on Jeremy. Cars all over the place in the corkscrew. We said it would happen, and here it is as a car disappears there and appears back. Stephen King is now down in 14th. I wonder if he got tagged by that crash. We need to have another look at that to see exactly what happened. There was so much stuff that happened then. It will be interesting to see. That is meatball flags aplenty for Jeremy Agard and Stephen King. That's going to be a second stop for Stephen as well later on. He's not going to make it to the end on fuel, and a crying shame. But look who's in your lead. It's Morgan Burkhardt. Let's see if we can find out what happened to all of these people. Jan Weiswanger, he had an issue off track. Where did he do this? The orange car, 43, is Jan Weiswanger. Puts his foot down too early. Off he goes. Is he going to rejoin into someone? No. Fairly safe. Oh, Ika Lequay just turns in on him there, actually. So that was not Jan's fault. Maybe Ika just did not know he was there. Clumsy from Ika. Haven't seen that, actually, since last time we were here for him. Let's see if we can break this down. Andy Fox leads. So Morgan Burkhardt actually got past Josh relatively quickly. Andy's gone off there. That's going to give Morgan a bit of a run. John Bailiff went off as well. You've got all the cars flying behind them into the left-hander here. Morgan Burkhardt still chasing him down. So the crash happened at the corkscrew. We know that much. And it involved so many drivers. We're going to have to try and slow it down. Oh, there goes Andy. He's gone off at the kink. Was that a touch? Surely that wasn't a touch. Let's have another look at that. Is it this one? No touch. I just assumed that there might have been, but no. He's gone off fully by himself there. And he's lost loads of positions. He's going to slot back on. He lets John go through. And then he goes over to defend from Ray into the braking zone. Is this where the contact happens? They're not quite in the braking zone yet, though. I wonder if Ray sends it up the inside. It looks like he's going to give it a go. Here it comes. Bit of contact from Ray. Forces Andy forward. He's going to try and avoid his teammate, but he can't get it stopped. Oh, that is going to very much anger the win it or bin it boys. As John Bailiff gets collected there as well. Andy Fox is going down the hill. Comes back across. Ray Oliver and Kieran Dempsey. Kieran cuts in the corner, and that was clumsy as well. Kieran just driving straight into Ray. As a result of that, smoke everywhere. That's Ryan involved. Straight into him. Henry comes through cleanly. Jake comes through cleanly. What happens to Stephen? Jeremy tries dodging. Stephen gets caught up. Is he going to hit Ray on the dirt? No. Yes, that will be where the meatball was. It's going to upset him. And then look at Jared out of shape as well. And that's where he gets collected by Jeremy. And Jared goes off the track. This is chaos for the opening laps of Seca. Round goes Jared and off he goes. That's pretty much all the breakdown I can give for that. We've spent a lot of time watching that. And now look at the order. There's gaps all over the place. But as usual in these things, look how wide Morgan goes there. Someone is always a winner when stuff like this happens. There's losers and there's winners. It'll be interesting to see where Stephen can get to, but I'm pretty sure he's going to have given up on this race, as he probably will have to pit again. Morgan going extremely deep there into turn 1 and 2. But it's working for him. He's got a 3-second lead. Joshua Germany's in P2. And your championship leader survived all of it, got past Henry Morse, and here he is in P3. You've got to say, thinking about championship terms, we said it was pretty much in Jake's hands. It was Jake's to lose. After a result like this, with another low finish for Stephen, I mean, we'll see how high you can get up the order, but with another low finish for Stephen as a result of other crashes, you've got to say, after this round, I think, mathematically, you are looking at the Volkswagen Jetta Cup champion right now in the Masters of Talk car. The number 78 says full defend on the back with his dirty car livery and his broken DHL sticker heading towards the corkscrew. He's chasing down Josh Germany. Haven't seen Josh have a crash in a while. I wonder if these two will come together. I'm sure they will be fine. What other battles are going on out on track? The next closest one is actually, I tell you who's having a good feature race. Peter Jones and Dan Thornton up here in P12 and P13. These two are fairly close together. About the same distance as Jake and Josh as they come down the right hill. Look at Jones going up the inside. Oh, that could have been risky into the fast right-hander. That was a potential disaster. Don't jinx it, Jack, says Ellen Brown. Yeah, no, that's fair. Commentator's curse is a real thing. But I think even... I don't think it matters where Jake finishes now with Stephen down that far in the order. So he could potentially still have a crash. And it's looking good for Jake Cranston for the championship, regardless of where he finishes. Now that his main rival, his only rival effectively, is down in 22nd place, not scoring any points so far. And he's actually got a couple of guys with him down there. Jeremy Agard was another one collected in that battle. Look at this. He goes up the inside. We've just about caught it. Jeremy moves over. Lets Stephen through. Can they get past Christian Ribeiro? That's John Bailiff up there as well. He was hoping to fight for third in the championship. So he will not be best pleased with being down here with these boys. Jeremy Agard and Stephen King trying to get past Christian Ribeiro in the Lurchus Gaming car, who's currently holding on to the last points of the grid. Let's have a look at position changes, because after a crash like that, there's normally some big jumpers. We have Jake Cranston is up 8 places. Sebastian Hallmichael's having a good race in P8 as Stephen sends it up the inside of Christian Ribeiro. Gets that move done. He's going to chase down John Bailiff and Jeremy Agard. We need to have a quick look at Donny Alpha Henriksen, who's just made a move on Henry Moore, so he's trying to. Where is this? This is around the outside of the downhill left. I wonder if Henry's got damage, because that's not normally a move we see. What a move from Donny Alpha Henriksen up into P4. I think Henry must have engine damage, but he's extending his stint. There he goes into the pits to fix that with a fast repair, and he's going to have enough fuel to get to the end. Smart driving from Henry, who made the most of his damaged car, and now he's going to fix it, and off he goes with his pace back again. But Donny with a hell of a move around the outside of turn 9. Jesus and Mundere's up in P8, people. Well, let's have a look at the order changes again. Sebastian Hallmichael now has 10 places up. Jesus 6 places up. Martin's up 6 places. Dan Thornton's up 9 places. Where is... I'll tell you, there's quite a few people in the pits. I think Chris Smith was another big mover, but he has pit. Cadered has said Hotel is up 10 places, so he was a big mover indeed. I'm surprised. Well, actually, it's because I've lost track of time. We're 9 minutes in already. I was going to say I'm surprised people are stopping so early. But there's the track map so that we can have a look at their pit stops. We can also add this little number so we can see who's stopped and who hasn't. Currently, Jeremy Agard and Stephen King are leading the pit stoppers, but they stopped. I don't think they can get to the end. My maths isn't that good to work it out on the fly, to be honest, but there we go. Henry Morse done the clever thing, so technically I think out of the pit stop people, realistically Henry's leading the way, and Chris Smith only 3 seconds behind Henry, so one to watch is Chris. You're right, Cadered. I wonder where he can get to. Who's battling on track? Jake Cranston's on the back of Joshua Germany. We said don't jinx it. The battle's about to begin. We're 10 minutes in. Look how close Jake's getting through this section. This is a fast section to be getting that close. He's all over the back of Joshua Germany. We'll go on board. This is what it looks like. He decides to pit because Josh is holding him up. Josh can't pit that late. Look how tight this entry is. Look, full lock left. Ooh, carries a lot of speed in there and gets it slowed down. You can look on the track map. Jake Cranston is pitting. Anyone else pitting? Donny Alpha Henriksen, Sebastian Hallmichael, Martin Wallace, and Dan Thornton are all in the pit lane behind them. This is what it looks like from the front of the pit lane. So you can see the two Meatball Lovers cars there. Martin Wallace is also in, and Dan Thornton, who we said, as the other cars come flying past the main straight. This is a nice little camera view, actually. I'm impressed with this one. Jesus from the earth to the sky. I wonder where he's going to come home. He's normally one to extend his stint as long as he can go. As we see the Pulsars cars actually coming through. Stephen King is going to come out ahead of Jake Cranston, I think. But like we said, he might have to stop again. There's Jake Cranston on the inside as they come around turn 1 and 2. Is he going to come out directly behind him? Yes. Is he going to have the run into turn 2? Turn 3 technically, I think, on the track map. Not quite, but now these two are going to continue their battle, even though Stephen probably knows he has to stop again. Jeremy Agard's behind with Henry Morse. So it's Masters of Torque versus Pulsars. Then another Masters of Torque versus another Pulsars here out of the stoppers. So Jake Cranston currently leading the way for genuine stoppers, I think. This is going to be potentially another feature race win for the number 78 Orange Machine. I don't want to call it that early. I never call it that early before. But you've got to be honest, he's on form this week. This weekend? No, it's Monday. This week. But as I said, with big crashes, there's normally some interesting results. We normally see some people flying. I'll tell you who has just pit. Morgan Burkhardt. He was the one with the early lead. Joshua Germany's going long on his stint. So he is staying out as Joshua Germany and takes the lead of the feature race. So far, as Henry Morse has actually got past Jeremy back there. Look at that. Is it on the inside? Oh, they're still battling through here into the next right-hander. Can he get it turned in? Henry's going to have to give Jerry room. Yes, he does. And he gets the move done. Good move from Henry Morse there. And he's got the Meatball Lover cars behind, closing in. Got a few people in the pits again. Morgan Burkhardt, Kieran Dempsey, Ryan Smith, Jesus and Mundere's pit. Let's hope he puts enough fuel in. Peter Jones and Ika Lequay as well have stopped. Here comes Henry Morse down the main straight. You can see the cars in the pit lane as they come flying down. Morgan is going to come back out in the lead. You can't even see. There's Jake and Stephen in the background. So Morgan's got a clear lead now. And Morgan is going to fight for this win. He needs to fight for this win. Hope don't repeat what he did in the first race here. Run out of fuel in brackets, says Figuelthio. It's exactly. Do you know what? I forgot it was here that it happened. It's happened so much that I forgot what races it happened to. But look at this lead Morgan Burkhardt has. It's about 3 seconds up the road. Jake Cranston will close that gap, I assume. But is he going to have to defend from Stephen? I'm sure Jake is smart enough to have worked out that Stephen will have to stop again. Henry Morse actually dropping back from battling with Jeremy for so long. 2 drivers haven't stopped yet. It's Jared Kaler and Joshua Germany. Joshua Germany currently approaching the final corner, so you'd assume he's going to pit now. Nope, still going. He's going to run that tank dry. What about Jared Kaler, who's up 11 places in the Haynesmobile? Comes round the second to last corner. Is he going to shoot off to the left-hand side? No, stays out also. They're making the most of holding the lead, believing in themselves and seeing how far they can go. Oh dear, that is a touchback there with Jake Cranston and Stephen King. I wonder. We need to see a replay of that. Come on. We need to see a replay. I just caught it in the distance. What happened between our 2 championship rivals? Was it accidental? Was it a squeeze? Was it a punt? We do not know. I think here it is. Let's have a look. Oh, it was not. It was Jake making a mistake. I apologise to Stephen King and Jake Cranston. They've been fighting so hard all season. Jake made a mistake and let Stephen through. But again, like I said, he's probably not too worried as he knows Stephen will probably have to pit again. Although Stephen will be fuming that this could have been his actual race, because he's currently now ahead of Jake and would have had to defend against him if he didn't have to stop again. Whoa. The boys up front still haven't stopped. I will get rid of the pit stops now, though, because we know the 2 that haven't stopped. It's Joshua Germany and Jared Kaler. We'll leave the track map on for when they do stop. Equal Argonaut. His motor runs on hopes and dreams, so it will not finish the race. Saying that Jesus has no hopes and dreams. You can't say that about our Lord and Saviour, Jesus Amundere. His first race. This memory is firmly in my mind. Jesus' first race, he ended up in a fence, in a gateway that we didn't think anyone would end up in, but he did it right at the start of the race. Who's close on the track then? So Stephen King and Jake Cranston are about this distance. Peter Jones is closing in on Andy Fox. I wonder, Andy won't have damage because he's stopped, so they would have used their fast repair. But Peter Jones does look like he's got the pace on Andy here, as I've just seen Chris Smith swap places with Sebastian Hall, Michael. Look at Chris on the inside. That move was done quite easily. Let's have a look at how that started. Sends it out the inside of the final corner. Great move from Christopher Smith, number 83, on the 667 of Sebastian Hall, Michael. You can see the glowing brake discs of Seb as he brakes as late as he can to try and hold it. Is this move going to carry on into turn 1? Oh, Chris goes wide on the exit of turn 2, but he should be able to hold that. Jesus is right behind, as is Martin Wallace in 14th place. Good move from Christopher Hotel Smith up into 11th place. A much better race this time round. He finished 21st, I believe, in the sprint race. So not a good race for him there, but he's getting a fair amount of points right now. How many more positions can he gain? He's got Kieran Dempsey up the road, who's actually putting pressure on Ryan here. And look how close those 2 are. Did you see that in the distance? Stephen King and Jake Cranston, bumper to bumper. I would like to see the gearbox cam of Stephen King. This is how close it's going to look from behind Stephen King's car. Look at the muddy bumper of Jake Cranston all over the back of him. We need to see this battle continue. Is Jake going to send out the inside of this downhill left? No. What about the next right-hander? Probably not. All over the back of him, though. Jake Cranston looking to get this move done. That's the wrong car. We don't want to be on board there. We want to be on board with Jake, who opens up the corner. Look how much he goes a little bit wider, trying to open up and get a better exit. But Stephen parking it on the apex and ruining his run a little bit this time round. And away they go 18 minutes into this race. Jared Kaler and Joshua Germany have pit. There's Josh on the left. So Jake is actually looks like he's going to pass Josh here. But not Morgan Burkhardt, who is up the road and keeps his position. So Jake looking like he's going to have passed Joshua Germany, unless we see him all of a sudden appear on the left-hand side, which we do not see Joshua Germany appear on the left-hand side. So it looks like that move is done for Jake Cranston, who tries to get the switch back into turn 2. Can he get this done on the inside? No, he doesn't quite have the run. It was a good effort. Good effort indeed. They're proper trying, these 2. Really trying. And Joshua Germany is right behind, as is Henry Morse in 4th and 5th. Stephen King defends the inside of the left-hander. Still going full speed. Oh, Josh has a little look up the inside. This is going to be a close fight. This looks a little bit like bullying. You got the Pulsars cars all over this Master Talk car. The championship leader is trying to get past Stephen King. Joshua Germany and Henry Morse are right behind him. I suppose that's all Stephen can do now, is hope that other people take points away from Jake. But as I said, round the outside of the corkscrew, he tries it. What an attempt from Jake Cranston. That's 2 really good attempts of overtaking. It's a shame they haven't come through. It can be done round the outside of the corkscrew, I'll be honest. It can be done, but it really depends on who you're racing, and it looks like Stephen King was not willing to let that move happen round the outside of the corkscrew. And I can talk from experience that has happened. He doesn't like giving up space in that corner. I have had a coming together with him there before. Not in a bad way. It was just, you know how it is with a crash. It's always frustrating. But look at this train of 4 cars. Stephen King leading Jake Cranston in P2. Morgan Burkhardt will be loving this. Oh, Joshua Germany. That was a clumsy break from Josh there. Straight into the back of Jake Cranston. That's not how you get past in that corner, is it? That's not what we want to see. Morgan Burkhardt, though, clapping his hands with a 6-second lead now with only 6 minutes to go. He knows. I'll tell you what, I need to have a quick look at the stats. I don't know if Morgan's had a win before. Let's have a look at the winners. Jake Cranston, 7. Henry Morse, 5. Stephen King, 4. Charles Rainford, 2. John Bailiff, 1. Donny Alpha Henriksen has a win. Jared Kaler has a win. Morgan Burkhardt is on for his first race win this season in a feature race round Laguna Seca. He's going to be buzzing about this, and I hope he's available for an interview. I'm sure he will be. This battle is not over. It's going to be going till the end. It was a brave moment, says Equal Argonaut. But he's got to do something. Stephen, although he's not blocking, he is holding up this train for sure to try and help Joshua Germany and Henry Morse. But he is not unfairly braking on the line. He's effectively defending his position as if he was racing for position. But I imagine he's going to have to pit soon because I've seen Jeremy Agard come in. So he must be starting to run out of fuel. Is it going to happen now? There he goes. I called it. In he goes. He's out of fuel. It's his second stop. Joshua Germany now has to get past without the help of his teammate. And Henry Morse is all over the back of him as well. These two might have to decide who's quicker and who can have an attempt at Jake. But I've got a feeling that Jake is now going to drive away. Not that I don't have faith in Joshua Germany or Henry Morse, but we know how fast he is. He's shown it time and time again. Alpha Henriksen is looking to pick up. Oh, Josh goes deep again. Oh, my God. That is tense. Joshua's brakes are done. Well, it's either his tyres or his brakes, but turn 1 is not his friend right now. Donny Alpha Henriksen is going to be looking to pick up some places. I tell you what, he's actually could be on for a podium here, could Donny? And that'll be much better than his last round. Let's have a look down the order and see what everyone else is doing. As I said, I think Jake might be starting to pull away now. Kieran Dempsey's all over the back of Ryan Smith here. As he heads down to the left-hander. Ryan looks like he's got a little bit of damage there. No moves done there into the kink. Chris Smith, we mentioned him earlier. He could be your driver of the day, people on Twitch and YouTube. He's up 13 places to P8 is Chris Smith. And he's watching this battle up ahead. With Ryan and Kieran. I'll tell you who's just made a move. Well, someone's gone off track. It's Dan Thornton, I believe. Here's Dan Thornton and John Bailiff and Ray Oliver down the bottom end of the field. Yeah, Dan goes straight off. We've seen that happen quite a few times today. Where's John going to put his car? Is he going to go around the outside? He's going to try it. Can he brake later than Dan? He's going to hold it. It's going to be tight round the exit of there. He can't get it done around the outside. Is he going to switch back? No. They climb up the hill. It's going to be towards the corkscrew, I imagine. Ray Oliver's behind him as well. In he goes. He carries a lot of speed through the kink, does John Bailiff. He's going to look up the inside into the corkscrew. This move looks like it should be done. He brakes around the same time, gets it turned in. Dan, look at the spatial awareness on Dan Thornton. Both of them giving each other room all the way through the corner. That is what we like to see. Good racing. Ray Oliver's going to try and slot up the inside as well. He has to brake and almost back out of it. Dan goes a little bit wide. He wasn't shoved off there. He's going to have the inside to the right-hander. Oh, it gets tight there on the exit. Good effort from those three. It's got to be said. Clean. Chris Smith, we spoke about him. He's had an off-track. Is it the standard off-track? It's going to be the standard off-track at turn 4, I think we call this one. I never learned the turn numbers. Who does learn the turn numbers? commentators should, I guess. Tell you what I have just seen. Just Germany. Oh, never mind. I was going to say Josh has been passed by Henry, but Henry has gone off at the kink by himself. We've just caught it, and he's going to slot back on behind as Donny Alpha Henriksen's putting all the pressure on Joshua Germany now. 4P3. I said he was up for a podium. There's 2 minutes left of this race. Can Donny claim himself a podium finish today? I believe he's had podiums before. He has. He's had 2 podiums before. He's got 1 win to his name, and he's looking for his 3rd podium here today. What can Donny do? Sounds like a saying. What can Donny do? Henry Morse, though, slots right back on right behind, and he's all over the back of Donny now, so it could all go wrong. Who knows? Morgan Burkhardt still loving life, 6 seconds ahead. Kieran Dempsey looks like he's got a run back there. Can he get past Ryan in towards turn 1 and 2? Jesus Amundere is up in P10 still. He's going to be claiming quite a few points for the Lurchers Gaming team today. Kieran sends it round the outside of turn 1. It's a difficult move to do. We've mentioned it a few times. It's so hard to hold it there. Look at that. He's even got the throttle on so early that he's gone wide. And now look who's all over him. Chris Smith. Can he get the switchback and the better exit? Not quite this time, but they're going into the fast right. And he's right in the slipstream zone of Kieran Dempsey's car. This is what it looks like from on board Chris Smith's car. All over the back of him. He's got the run here. Is he going to send out the inside for the next corner? It looks like he's going to give it a go. Christopher Smith up the inside. Can't get it done. Kieran carries too much speed in here. There is 1 minute to go. It's near the 25-minute mark. Morgan Burkhardt is not... Well, this will be the last lap, by the way. Wafa Omran, thank you for reminding me. I've missed the finish once before. Twice before if you include media day. But we need to see this. Morgan's still coming through the final sector, but Chris is going to have a look up the inside of Kieran into the corkscrew. Can he get it done? He's going to have to brake later. He does. He sends it up the inside as Christopher Smith, number 83 versus 86. They're still side by side. Kieran Dempsey trying to hold it there. Now they're going to be side by side into the left-hander of turn 9. Kieran's still got a nose there. Can Chris move over? I don't think he's going to want to risk it. And now he's on the outside. We might have to cut away as Morgan's heading towards the finish line. Chris has got the move done. Can Kieran fight back into the final corner? No. Morgan Burkhardt takes the win, crosses the line. Jake Cranston's going to come home in second place, 5 seconds behind in the end. Joshua Germany still has Alpha Henriksen and Henry Morse for company. 3rd, 4th and 5th. Ryan Smith and Chris Smith, though. Look at this. Kieran Dempsey comes home in 8th. What a move from Chris Smith. Up 14 places to P7. Sebastian Hallmichael. This race is over for them. Mika Lequay just crosses the line in 14th, 15th. John Bailiff. Probably one of the biggest disappointments then. Not the biggest disappointment, but one of the drivers who is going to be most disappointed with this race is going to be John Bailiff after he was expecting, or he wanted, a really strong result here. He's going to show his frustration straight into the tyre wall, blows up his engine. Everyone's had enough. Look, don't want to drive it. Should really be careful with these driving like this when people have direct drive wheels. There is someone still racing, you know. And it is Christian Ribeiro in 22nd place. Here he comes. Glowing brake discs round the final corner. He's going to come across the line. 26 minutes later. There he goes. Well done, Christian. You made it to the end. Dan Thornton in the end in 21st. He was having a right fight at the end. It says here that he passed Jan for P19, so I wonder... Ooh, there's the contact I heard earlier. Does he get that move done? No. Oh, I don't know. Are they going to come together into the kink? Bounces over the curb. Jeremy's going to pass him as well. It's difficult to hold that line when you bounce over that curb. I think that was it. I think that's what's caused him down in 21st place. Good job, Lurcher, says MP. R-A-D-A-P. Would you say that as a word? M-Pradap? I've said it now. Cadared and in the top 10. That'll be about Chris. He is in the top 10. What a race from Christopher. He'll be happy with that. And do you know what? I think we should have time. I wouldn't mind speaking to him after this race. Our biggest mover. It's been a while since we've spoken to Chris. Oops. Did not mean to do that. Just spamming the replay button now. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Let's have a look. Right, let's go to the interviews. Good race all. Jerry says at least a point, lol. So he did get into the points in the end. Yeah, let's have a look at the results quickly. Feature race. Show us those results, please. Morgan Burkhardt, another new winner here for the Volkswagen Jetta Cup. That makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different winners we've had this season throughout 11 rounds. And that, you got to say, is impressive. Morgan has had podiums before. He's on the list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 drivers who have claimed podiums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different pole position holders from qualifying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different fastest lap holders. That might have changed this race. It might have gone to 11, but I can't check that yet. And only 2 drivers, would you believe it, on this whole grid are currently in line. I've only really recently made this award up. There's a clean sheet award, meaning that they have had 0 penalties throughout the season. Only 2 drivers are on that list. They have had warnings. No penalties. Those 2 drivers are your boy Ika Lequay in the Lurchus Gaming team in 14th place, and Donny Alpha Henriksen, who finished 4th for the Meatball Lovers team. Both of those guys fighting for the cleanest driver of the season. Morgan is waiting for an interview, I've just spotted. Good job, Burkhardt says. Sway London. Was there a jump start? Good question, Ellen. I forgot about that. Do you know what? I don't believe there was, because of where Stephen came out in the pits in the end. It was just a really good reaction time, in fairness to him. The issue was that he got involved in that crash. He tagged Ray Oliver in the big crash at the start and would have had a meatball flag as a result. And then he had to pit on lap. Well, he pitted on lap 2 in the end, I think, 2 or 3. And then that doesn't give you enough fuel. We've seen that a few times this season where people have had to pit on lap 1 or 2. They can't make it to the end of the race because the fuel tank is limited and they just can't get to the end. So it was a second stop in the end for Stephen King, John Bailiff, Ray Oliver, and anyone else involved in that crash. But the order: Morgan Burkhardt, Jake Cranston, Joshua Germany, Donny Alpha Henriksen, Henry Morse, Ryan Smith, Chris Smith, the 2 Smiths together again in the ORD team. Kieran Dempsey, P8. Sebastian Hallmichael, cracking result for him, P9. Jesus Amundere, P10. Martin Wallace, P11. Jared Kaler, P12. Andy Fox, P13 in the end after starting on pole. I don't know if he can be too angry with that. I'm sure he'll be upset with the crash with Ray Oliver. But at the same time, back up to P13, considering where everyone else finished. Not too bad. Oh my God, bless me. And anyone that wants to comment that, I am so sorry, I just sneezed. Dusty. Ika Lequay, P14, P15 for Peter Jones, John Bailiff, P16, P17, Ray Oliver, Stephen King, P18 in the end. So still some points for the drivers. You may have noticed, this is probably our smallest grid actually that we've had all season. Which isn't actually still, I'm still proud of that. 22 drivers is our smallest grid we've had all season. And if I'm honest, one of those is from having too many penalties. So, yeah, interesting, shall we say. Stephen King 18th, Jan Weiswanger 19th, and Jeremy Agard, as he said in chat, picks up your last couple of points in P20 for Masters of Talk. Dan Thornton 21st, we saw him at the end, and Christian Ribeiro comes home about a minute behind in the Lurchus Gaming Car. Let's go to the interviews then. We want to hear from our drivers. Morgan. We'll talk to Morgan first. It's got to be done. He's our feature race winner. Morgan Burkhardt, what a race for you. Well, actually, I say what a race. Was it potentially boring from your point of view, leading for so long?
Well, no, not at all. Leading is the most unboring thing in the world.
That's a good point of view. I always have mixed feelings about this in terms of what kind of race I want. Obviously, we race for the enjoyment of a battle and wheel-to-wheel racing, but at the same time, when you've had some of the luck that you've had this season, shall we say, there's every now and then you just want to welcome a race where you can lead pretty much from start to finish and just wait for everyone else to trip over themselves. And a 5-second lead in the end still. Tell me your thoughts on you must have been watching the gap, because it's the only thing you could do is just keep driving and watching the gap behind you. What did you think when you saw it extending throughout pretty much the whole middle of the race? You saw Stephen and Jake behind you, I imagine. And
Yeah.
you just kept pulling away. Was you just sort of giddy as you were driving around, or tell us your thoughts?
Well, I was definitely really happy to see the gap extending, but I saw Jake and Henry and all of the Pulses boys and Jake. Oh, yeah, they were all fighting, and I was just trying to eke out a little bit every lap and not kill off the tires too quickly, and just going for a target time. And then once Jake got around, it was head down and use up whatever I have left to try and stay in front.
Yeah, and you've done a cracking job. It's your first win this season. You've had a couple of podiums, but another new winner for the Volkswagen Jetta Cup. What's the time out there? You sound tired.
It is 4:40 right now.
In the afternoon.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Look, you've got the whole day ahead of you, and now you can go and tell all your family and friends that you've just had a race win in the Volkswagen Jetta Cup. What's next? Watkins Glen. Strong there?
Well, in the past, I mean, the first time that we went there, I didn't have the best luck, but had good enough pace. So in other races that I've done there, I've been pretty good. So I'm looking forward to the season finale.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, we had a practice session round there for the first round, and ended up having a dice for at least 6 laps side by side. So definitely got pace there, Morgan, and obviously we wish you the best of luck in the final round next week. Is there anyone, as is the usual procedure, is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before we say goodbye?
Well, I would definitely, as always, like to thank my parents and my grandparents for making all of this possible. They contribute a lot, and I'm very thankful for them. And I like to thank you for putting on such a great league. It's always a lot of fun, no matter where you are in the pack.
Oh, thank you very much, Morgan. Kind words. Good to speak to you, and we'll speak to you again soon.
I hope so.
Morgan Burkhardt there. Really nice words there. Shouting out to his family and thanking us here at the Racing Line. It's really nice to see humble drivers at times when they're not involved in the crashes that aren't their fault, for example. I saw him in the waiting room a minute ago, so we're going to pull him in. It's your championship leader and potential. Like, it's annoying that I have to work out drop rounds after the race because I can't fully officially announce it. But let's be honest, it was pretty much within your grasp, Mr. Cranston, Jake Cranston. With a race like that today, is that the championship over? You are potentially our first Volkswagen Jetta Cup champion here on the Racing Line.
Wow, that sounds very exciting, but I guess it's not over till Jack Johns sings, as they say.
Well, I keep saying my maths isn't great, but at the same time, you had a decent lead. There was a big crash. Well, it would have been in front of you, actually. Tell us about that crash earlier on in the feature. Was it fairly easy for you to maneuver through? Everyone you was in the right place, right time through there?
No, well, it was I just saw smoke ahead, and I had to dive to the outside of Henry because he was like boxed up behind the people in front. And then as I came down over the left into the right, Jerry comes across, which isn't his fault at all, and I just tag him and then try and get through the rest of it. So I'm really sorry to Jerry. He says that he doesn't think it's a problem, but I feel bad. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, we'll have a look back as we usually do, but I think after the initial crash, it's all kind of a knock-on effect, isn't it? And it's all about reactions and stuff, and no one's really at fault after that. But yes, it must have been. I don't want to say good because I don't want to cause any friction, but you must have noticed that Stephen was caught up in it in the end. He didn't make it through like you and Henry did, but then he came out next to you after you'd pit, so you were battling again with an Impulsor sandwich at the time. But did you I said on stream that I'm sure you have the awareness. You must have known that Stephen had to pit again and that you weren't battling for position.
You know what? I actually didn't. I had to take my headphones off and I shouted to Ellen, "Does Steven have to pit again?" Because I wasn't sure.
There you
Because
go.
I knew
I was
I
wrong.
knew
How dare
I
you
was
not be
no
aware?
well, I knew I was nowhere near him when I came in the pits, and then he was suddenly right there when I came out. So I was really confused for a bit.
Yeah, so it was one of the. I think he had a meatball flag. He tried avoiding the crash, but Ray, he couldn't. He was on the dirt and couldn't avoid Ray's stricken car on the side, which gave him a meatball. And obviously, then second stops occur. Wasn't the only one. I think John had to do a second stop, and you said Jerry obviously was caught up in that as well. And a few others, but how was the stress? Was it stressful? I'll tell you what we did see actually, Jake. A rare mistake from yourself. I assumed it was a punt because of how close you and Stephen have battled before. But you made a mistake into the final section, didn't you? You got a couple of wheels on the dirt, car went sideways. Good save. How was your heart in that moment?
You had to bring it up, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. I've just remembered.
Yeah. No, because I had Steven behind me. I was thinking if there's any way to turn my virtual mirror off at the top because it was stressing me out. And I was just thinking about it and dipped a wheel on the dirt and it went round and I let him through and I knew then he was just going to try and hold me up as much as possible. So I was a bit disappointed, but good to see Morgan get a win. Really happy for him.
Oh, good. Yeah, it is good to see Morgan. Another race winner. And of course, congratulations to yourself. If you are the Jetta Cup champion, I'm sure the announcement will be made. I'm thinking as well, because obviously we've got one round left. I think we'll do one more live stream after the final race, of whether it's just like we'll do maybe the Monday after. We'll do a fun race for week 13, and on that day we can announce the official positions for everyone. But of course, you will find that out before then. So congratulations again on another podium.
Thank you.
Is there anyone you want to say thank you to other than your strategist, Ellen Brown? Yeah, is there anyone else you want to say hello or thank you to before we let you go?
Yeah, so obviously Ellen in the room and my mum, Phil, and my dad and my grandparents also watched this the day after. So hello to them. Thank you for everyone for watching me throughout the season. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you very much. Jake Cranston, your potential Volkswagen Jetta Cup champion. We'll speak to you soon, Jake. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
That was Jake Cranston. There's not not much more to say. Nice guy. We've got loads of nice guys still left. All the ones left over. They've been. We've had our experiences throughout these 11 weeks. We've got 1 week left. I'm sure none of them are going to ruin it in that last week. But yeah, really nice guys across the board. We've got time for one more interview. Zero Forks Given Racing says another great race and another great broadcast. Have a great night, guys. Goodbye, Zero Forks Given Racing. We still love each other, says Jerry. That will be in reference to the crash with, the big crash at the start of this race that we just spoke about. Amazing race, says Jesus Mundre. Let's go to the last race next week. Great casting as usual. Thank you very much. Kind words on the Twitch chat. We got one guy who's showing his displeasure of the game of iRacing. We have an Assetto Corsa fan among us, and that's fine. Assetto Corsa is also a good game. They don't always have to be the best, but we're not going to get drawn into internet arguments, as we know full well. I'm sure anyone with a little bit of common sense will know that internet arguments are in fact pointless and most often wrong. Look at that. There's a crash in the background there. We did not see that on live stream. That's Christian Ribeiro. That will be how he ended up down the order. Ray Oliver having another crash there in the background. That's interesting. Rocket League, says Bentist, is his favourite racing game. No problem. I'm inclined to agree. Although you shouldn't be racing, you should be scoring a goal. One more interview. Let's have it. Who shall we have? Who have we got left? That's the real question. Who is stayed behind? Who isn't? Oh, I remember who I wanted to speak to. Christopher Hotel Smith, our driver of the day. It's got to be the driver of the day after gaining 14 places, Chris.
Hello there.
Hello. Good to speak to you again. Last race in a hotel, is it?
Thank the Lord. Yeah, so practice was great, 50 minutes of practice without a hitch, and then qualifying rolls down, and all of a sudden that that lag bar, latency bar starts rising and rising and rising. And I thought, here we go. And so yeah, I had to reboot the old modem and managed to get back in with about 2.5 minutes to spare. So no chance I could get a lap in. And
Yes,
and then that was the end of that race meeting.
that does explain the qualifying. It did look like we mentioned it on stream. There was 2 minutes to go, like you said, and you were just on your out lap. So we saw that you weren't going to get a fast lap in. 8 seconds off the pace, which of course is not in reference to your actual lap time. But then sprint race, another a low result in the end. I'll be honest. So much happens in these. Tell us what happened.
Just Ika Lequay battling through the back of the pack. You know, it does get a bit scrappy sometimes. People seem to fight like they're trying to scrap over every last point. You know, even though faster people are coming through. You know, I appreciate everybody wants to have a race, but sometimes it can get a little bit excessive. And unfortunately, Ika missed his braking point and slammed into my rear end, and then I spun off. This is on the last turn, and got the meatball flag, and the car was crabbing down the road. So yeah, I was hoping to get up to P12, but that wasn't to be. You know, a nice little reverse grid.
Of course,
would have been awesome.
Of course, and I'm sure Andy will be ruining his race as well with starting on pole and then having to come in together and causing the big crash that we saw in the feature. Which in the end, how was that? How was the aftermath from your point of view? Because obviously you started towards the back in the feature. Was it pretty much clear by the time you got there, or was you fully in the middle of it and just managed to weave your way through?
Yeah, the melee was still swirling, but I think it was starting to settle down a bit. I think most people had started to move off again, albeit very slowly. So managed to avoid the worst of it. I've not watched the replay back of what happened there in any great detail, but Andy Fox got shunted from the rear with a nasty bit of netcode, and that just sent him flying into everybody. So these things happen with online racing, you know.
Of course, it's one of those things. Obviously, we don't have to deal with in real life racing, but it is no matter what the game, it is something that we have to deal with sometimes, especially when the internet is working differently. Let's say in places all over the world.
Strong in hotel rooms.
Yeah, and in hotel rooms. Strong result though. P7, a top 10 finish. You and Ryan on track together again, regularly together. You two boys on pace. What's it like having a teammate that's, well, one with the same surname, even though you're not related, and two, who you always find yourself with and potentially fighting with, but at the same time, maybe working together? I'm not sure of your ORD strategies. How's it been this season?
Yeah, it's been fun. Ryan and I here are often very similar on pace. He always seems to get a bit luckier or just a bit better racecraft, perhaps. I think he just tends to find his way through situations a little easier than I do. And so, you know, that's why he's something like P4 in the championship and I'm P10. He always bags good results. Whereas, I think the pace is there, but I think that sometimes I just end up struggling with random situations or whatever. I mean, I should say P7, but just wait till the Stewards inquiry. There might be a drop in that. We'll see. I'm ready to defend myself.
Okay, so you think there's a potential penalty coming your way from something you did in a race?
Indeed.
Okay, that's fine. We can have a look, of course, but nonetheless, still a storming drive up to P7 from the back end of the grid, and a strong result. Is there anyone, as usual, that you want to say thank you to or hello to before I let you get back and we crack on with the stewards room?
Absolutely. So thanks very much to all the people watching. Thanks to my fan club, my brother Alex, and my uncle Fergus, and even my wife Rachel has started watching since I've been away. So hello to those guys, and of course thanks very much to yourself for setting this up. It's been such a good season. I can't believe we've just got one more to go. It's been just flown by. It's been the highlight of my week. So
it's flown by for you, mate, but it is dragging for me now. I am getting tired. No, I'm joking. Of course, it's been fun all the way. One race left. It's been effectively 13 and what's going to be 14 full weeks of racing for all of us guys who had, let's face it, well, pretty much all of us never met before this. And of course, it's been a blast so far, and we'll see what happens in the future. But 1 round to go. Watkins Glen. Thank you as always, Chris. And of course,
Thank you.
like you said, to all the viewers. I'll put you back, Chris. We'll speak to you soon.
Catch you later.
See you later. Again, said it about the others. Kind guy. So many of them. So nice and filled with kind words. That's pretty much it as usual. Let's have a quick catch up on comments. Have we had anything new? Rachy Panda, that will be Chris Smith's wife, has put the celebration party poppers into the chat for Christopher Smith. Henry Morse has another little fan in the crowd. Let's say a more appropriate fan than some of his old fan base. Stephen King pops up on YouTube and says, Morgan is the man. I'll tell you what, it's a popular winner is Morgan Burkhardt today. People are going to be, although they might be disappointed with their own races, I don't think anyone is going to be disappointed that Morgan Burkhardt won today's race. Least of all, of course, Morgan Burkhardt. Jerry says, we love you, Jack. That's me. Thank you very much, Jerry. I'll be in there shortly. I am not, as usual, as much as you make me laugh, Bentist. We're not going to go there. I'll just leave that for the Twitch audience to read. As usual, that is pretty much it from me. It's been a hell of a race. We will get back to the results very shortly. I will get them posted, and we've got 1 week left. Is the calendar going to work today? It likes to not sometimes. Let's have a look. Oh, is this going to be a no? It looks like it's going to be a no. We're just going to look at the replay screen instead. That is fine. Is it Morgan Burkhardt or Bergen Morkard? Whoever it is, he's the man, says Donny Alpha Henriksen. He is. That is pretty much it from me. Like I said, don't forget to keep those likes and comments coming in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We recently reached 2,000 subscribers on the channel, which is a hell of a achievement. It's been a hell of a ride so far. 2,000. We'll be doing a competition soon. We're going to set a target date to hit 3,000 subscribers. That is our next target. There will be a competition to win some stuff on iRacing, so unlucky to the Assetto Corsa fan who probably can't get involved in that. Not this time round. But, yeah, look out for that competition. 3,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Share it with your friends and family. Get them involved. I can see loads of you are still here enjoying these streams, and I will be doing loads more in the future, so keep an eye out. And as usual, that's pretty much it from me. If I don't see you on track this week, I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace.